In the past 20 years, something has shifted so drastically that now you have these middle class grassroots families that are working 2 to 3 jobs just to afford their mortgage because their taxes are so phenomenally high. They can't be a part of certain things that they would like to be. The after school activities, the soccer clubs, the football clubs, the basketball clubs, they're struggling to find volunteers to help coach these kids. And it's not because people don't want to be involved, it's because they actually cannot be involved. These parents are working so hard just to put food on the table and make their mortgage payments that they can't add anything else to their plate. I know, I was one of them. It's a struggle, and I don't know where we went so wrong, and I just want to see it come back to where you could raise a family here and be nice and comfortable and live. My name is Lauren Ramos, and I am your candidate for town council in Aberdeen, and I'm happy to be. There's a culture here, and it's nice because it's a mixed culture. When I drove through Aberdeen, I'm like, okay, this is your typical middle class suburban neighborhood. It just looked like a town I wanted to raise my kids in. There was something homey about it that I said, this is where I want to be. The school district is phenomenal. And it really is about the kids, right? There's so much opportunity here for these kids to take. It's really up to the kid to take it. The opportunity is there. And the guidance counselors are phenomenal. I have 3 kids that have 3 different walks of life. My oldest is 21, who struggled through school terribly. It wasn't an easy thing for us to navigate. And then I have my senior. He's going to end up halfway through freshman year walking in the door. It really came down to the individual kid who literally took school and was like, I own this, and has taken every single opportunity that was handed to him. The teachers have been phenomenal. It really is a community, and I love it. I got so involved in so many things here, and I started to learn more about what's going wrong, that it was time to put my money where my mouth was and stop complaining about the problem and be a part of the solution. I think having a more pragmatic approach to things will actually help that, because that's what I bring to the table. There's a difference between being in charge and leading people to also be in charge. Who do I see the most potential in? And how can I bring them up to get them there? And that's what I do in my job. It's all about positive reinforcement. Going from homeownership to renting because of what happened with COVID and the market prices, and at this point I'm not in a position to buy, but I still want to stay in Aberdeen. Everybody here really just wants to raise their family. I believe in the strength of the middle class. And in Aberdeen, the way we're going, we're getting pushed out more and more. We are blue-collar families, right? Nobody in my family was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We all work to get what we need. And that's what the people in this town are really trying to do. We did not expect them to go up so much that our mortgage payment went up about $350 a month. Now, when you're literally just getting by and you're like, okay, we could do this, another $350 a month, that's tough. That's a choice between, do I put food on the table tonight? Do I make ramen, or do we order pizza? And when you're working that hard, you shouldn't have to make that choice. Something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. That's not the American dream anymore. I guess that's really why I decided to put my name in the hat, is to try to fix that, try to bridge that gap. Something happened. Subscription busing was taken away because of the influx of kids that were coming into this town, that they just didn't have enough buses anymore. So subscription busing was taken away. So my kids had to walk from Cliffwood Beach to the middle school. They had to cross a major highway. They had to walk down Mattawan Avenue. It was a good 20-minute walk. It wasn't an easy walk. And crossing 35, to put it quite frankly, scared the bejesus out of me. Thought about my neighbors on that side of town and how, it is a concern. So I brought it to the council meeting and I said, hey, can we talk about this letter? They can't meet the needs anymore. And so what conversation is happening between the town and the schools to try to bridge that gap to see, hey, what can we do to make this better for you guys? And the answer I got was, that's the school, it's their budget, that's on them. We're the town, it's our budget, and this is on us, and the two shall never meet in between. And I said to myself, no, No, because as the town, you are making decisions that are directly impacting our schools. So while yes, you may have different budgets and you may have different sources of income or, whatever the case may be, there still needs to be a conversation. How is one affecting the other? There's cause and effect. How is one affecting the other? There's conversations that should be had and they're not being had. And it's costing the town money. And if it's costing the town money, it's costing the taxpayers money. Almost every election cycle, what do they talk about? Roads, 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 roads. Not to be snarky, but what is our management doing in the town to fix that? Because this is not an issue that's hidden. This is not an issue nobody talks about. This is an issue everybody talks about, right? So it's been a known issue for how many years? And every year there's a promise to, or every election cycle there's a promise to do something about it. What's done? If we're singing the same tune and singing the same story every single election cycle, it tells me there has been no improvement. And people are just accepting the status quo. And why? So going back to my leadership approach, I know how to diplomatically come to the table and focus on the problem and the problem only. Everything else is just fluff, and I don't care about the fluff. I don't care about, 2 years ago you said this, or 3 years ago you said that. Don't care. We're here now. What do we do to fix the problem? It's not going to make a lot of people happy, and I think when you are negotiating, each side has to compromise, right? It's all about compromise, and sometimes you got to figure out how to do it to make it work for everybody. What I will say is that I think our state leaders, because this is not necessarily a local problem, it really does come down from the state, need to come back to the table and say, hey, we didn't prepare for the market boom that happened during COVID. Nobody prepared for that huge boom in the market to happen. So now you have these homeowners that are buying these homes at, let's say, $350,000, $450,000, and now they're being assessed at $800,000, $900,000, and they're being taxed on that. There was no way to prepare for that type of market boom. And I don't think nobody expected that to happen. I think we expected a gradual increase over time, which makes more sense. Things go up, people prepare for that, people understand that, you almost expect it. But to have that much of an increase definitely put a strain on our residents. How do we renegotiate this deal? Because while the deal was a good deal, and I understand why we needed it, and by the way, our opponents did support this deal, there definitely needs to be some renegotiation of this deal. And I think everybody needs to come to the table to have that conversation to make Aberdeen more affordable for its residents. People just can't do it anymore. And the middle class is literally being taxed out of their homes. If I'm elected to be your next councilwoman, here's what I promise to do for you. I promise to have those diplomatic conversations and figure out where we can come to common ground and solution. I promise to fight for the people of Aberdeen. I promise to fight for the middle class here in Aberdeen. And I promise to make Aberdeen a better place for our kids to live. I personally don't want to have to leave Aberdeen. And I would love it if my kids want to come back. And we have a nice community here. And, I get to, raise my kids here, and then maybe my kids raise my grandkids here. And I found home.